So, Jeff, tell us a little bit about what you're doing in land records with the plats.
Um, Plats have always been really hard for people to research. Title professionals like yourself and title researchers, you guys are able to navigate through and get the plats you want, but most people, even most lawyers, really never know how to find the plat they want. If you have the book and page number, that's easy, but nobody really knows the book and page number of a plat. So what we've done is we've had the Supreme Court of Virginia on our records management system set up a separate tab called Plats. And we've manually gone back from the most recent plat and we're working our way backwards. And we've scanned the plat and then we've indexed it by, of course, the book and page number. We indexed it by any GPIN or tax map ID number or any other number that's on that plat that helps you identify the property. If there's an owner on there, we've indexed it by the owner. We've tried to use as many identifiers on that plat to put in the index so that people can find their plats.
So if we subscribe to your SRA for the city of Fredericksburg, and that gives us online access from our office or home, then we'll be able to find those plats through that system.
You can find the plats through that system. We've got 18 plat books here in the city of Fredericksburg. Starting at 18, that's already indexed and scanned. We are back now to book number 5, and we're able to do about a book a month. So maybe in 5 or 6 more months, we'll have our entire plat.
That's really amazing. Wow. Well, thank you for doing that for all of us title professionals, but also for the public.
And I've got to give credit to Cynthia Dye, our deputy clerk, that has been single-handedly doing this project. It wouldn't be fair to mention the project without mentioning her.
How did you get the idea to do this?
We've been trying to figure out a way for years on how to make plats more searchable. And just last summer, Barrett Chappell, the clerk in Dinwiddie, I was asking him what he does, and he says, Jeff, it's really simple. And he explained the process to me and how he worked with the Supreme Court of Virginia to do it. And Robin Isbell down at the Supreme Court set us up, and we've been off to the races.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Now, Julie, there's one issue that the Clerks Association and the Supreme Court are trying to tackle, and we spoke before, you're familiar with it, and that's e-recordings. Many clerks accept e-recordings right now in their land records. We, however, in Fredericksburg currently do not. Here's the issue how I see it. Virginia's a race and notice jurisdiction, which means that the first to record has priority, and that's what's going to govern the chain of title. Well, if you come in to do a recording at 9 a.m. and you're the third person in line, well, you got here at 9 a.m., but you may not do your recording until 9:30, 9:45. But what if at 9:15 somebody does an e-recording, and one of our deputy clerks sees that, pulls it off the server, and actually puts it to record before you get your turn in line? It sort of messes up the race notice. Another issue could be that if you're in line and somebody sends in that e-recording at 9:15, and then somebody comes in after you at 10:15, and our record clerk decides to do everybody in person in the line they're in and then go to the e-recordings, well, then that e-recording that got here first of all, doesn't get recorded in the order that it made it to the courthouse, be it electronically or in person. But also, there's really no way for somebody that's waiting in line to do a last-minute bring down, and the person that sent it in to do a last-minute bring down to figure out, are there any conflicts in our recordings?
Or any liens that are going to go prior to our recording.
Exactly.
And the one concern that title professionals have is the notice part. With e-recordings going on behind the scenes, it makes it difficult for us to see those documents prior to our paper document going on record.
So these are real issues that affect people's property, people's wills, their land. And I do know that the Virginia Supreme Court has got a subcommittee of clerks, and they're trying to figure this stuff out because it's going to take legislation. It's not happening this year. but it's going to take legislation. Our lawmakers in Richmond are going to have to lay out how these are going to be recorded and where the priority is.
And last year, I believe it was July 1, a new law went into effect where it changed the recording fees for paper documents and for e-recordings. Can you talk about that?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the
It's
specifics
I think it's a $5 fee, and instead of an e-recording paying that $5 fee, they decided that the paper recording
They
should.
flip-flopped it.
Yeah.
It used to be that if you wanted to do an e-recording, you'd have to pay $5 extra. Then in the movement to try to get people, electronic and to do e-recordings, they did switch it. So now, if you file an e-recording, you have the fee. If you want to file it by paper, there is a $5 paper filing fee.
And I think that the clerk has the discretion as to decide whether or not to charge that fee.
That I'm not sure, and I'd
Okay.
have to talk to our records clerk to
Yeah.
see if that's been set up in our computer.
Do you think that the city of Fredericksburg will ever institute e-recording in the near future, or you're just looking into it?
I'm looking into it. I would like to do it. If the issues of priority and notice that we've talked about have been tackled, we would probably go to it sooner than later. But it scares me to think how these chains of titles and these abstracts could be inaccurate because of who's recorded first. So I'm cautiously waiting to see how the legislature and the state handles
Very
that
good.
issue.
Very good. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for meeting with us this morning
Thank you,
and
Julie.
for sharing the things that you're working on and your ideas and of course Annie and all your great employees, clerks. So
And I want to thank the title people. When I first decided I was going to run for clerk, I went to somebody in town and I said, I want to run for clerk. What do I need to do? The first thing they said is, you need to meet the title community. So I didn't do any land recording law. I didn't do any of that type of law when I was a lawyer. So I says, well, I don't know anybody. They hooked me up with Brian Bledsoe and Jeff Hall, and I met those two guys, and I told them what I wanted to do. They told me what the issues were. And Julie, I think that you can probably verify this when I say this. When I told the title community during my campaign that I was going to do everything I can to make this office the best land recording office and the most title-friendly and easiest to work office, that wasn't just rhetoric. Every day I'm talking to you guys, and every day we're trying to make it better and make it a better place for you guys to work and make your jobs easier.
absolutely, Jeff, you've been a great partner for all of us in the title industry and the public. You
Thank you,
serve the
Julie.
public too. All right. Thank you. Wonderful.
Oh, good.